So, in the last sessions, we discussed about the network or circuit elements, and we seen that the circuit elements are basically classified into two categories based on the nature of energy, whether energy is supplied by the element or energy is absorbed by the element. So based on that consideration, we called the elements as active elements. These active elements are usually the sources. Active elements are usually the sources. And the other class is the passive elements which absorbs the energy over a time. And here we seen that active elements are further classified, and it is classified into like voltage sources and current sources, in which independent and dependent. So that classification we had seen along with symbols and its characteristics. So today let us talk about the other segment of these circuit elements, which is the passive elements. Passive elements. So this also very important. So passive elements. Why? Because a network consists of the combination of all these elements. So before going to the analysis part, let us have a detailed observation on each of the elements and its characteristics, so that we can understand the like in a circuit, what is its role, what is its property, how does it behaves in a circuit. Okay. So prior to that, let me quickly revise some of the important observations about the basic electrical quantities. So that what we are talking about is the voltage is one of the parameter. Voltage, one of the basic quantities. We said that when charge is separated or detached from body and transferred to another place. So this we usually stated in different way, that when a charge is separated, a distance is created between the charge, then voltage is built between that. That is what we call potential difference or simply voltage. And this voltage you can understand with the help of the nature, like in nature. So these kind of situations happen that, so when the clouds are formed, so due to like the turbulence inside the cloud, so that turbulence means like creation of the particles impinges one on the other, so that will create the charge. Usually the electron, that is negative charge, will be in the downside due to the heaviness of the charge which carries the charge, whereas the positive ions will be splitted onto the top of the cloud. And because of this slight charge separation inside this cloud, so there will be a net negative charge accumulated downside of the cloud. When the clouds are little closer to the earth, then what happens is that, just remember the charge nature is that whenever you have some positive charge or negative charge, its equivalent amount of the charge will be induced on the other material. And here you can observe that, so there will be a negative charge which is in the downside. Its image charge will be induced on the earth, and its equal amount of the image charge is induced on the earth. Because of this, there will be again potential difference, which is the voltage difference. So this causes for the lightning and etc. When a tree is there, so nearby these clouds, then it will take the help of that, and through the tree, so it will try to discharge the energy. That is what the lightning. So this is one way of simple understanding that how the charge got separated, thereby potential is induced in it. And we said that, so these potentials or the voltage sources can be means made into batteries form. So usual available batteries are of the small in nature, in the range of 1.5 volts. So this 1.5 volts range battery we usually call as the cell. And the cell representation look like this, like two parallel lines, one long line and one short line. whereas battery is the combination of cells, like two or more than two cells, and its corresponding representation look like this. And sometimes we may represent these two combination of the batteries representation, instead of that dot line, just we may show as like this. So what does it represents is that two cells are connected in series. Thereby 1.5 volts plus 1.5 volts, which is equivalent to 3 volts. So this is the way that what we what we can see, the terminology which we handle in our systems is that cell and battery. Cell is a single cell where you usually have 1.5 volts, whereas battery is combination of cells. Clear? So that is one thing I want to emphasize for the voltage point of view. And let us see quickly the current nature also. We said that rate of flow of the charge or the rate of movement is what the current, and we can state this point in another way that, so usually whenever you have conductor, what does the conductor do? It provides the path for the flow of charge, and it has free electrons. Then when we connect any battery across it, then charges can pass through the conductor. So that what the phenomena has been explained over here. See that? So we have a lamp and the battery or cell, and all the negative charges are moving away from these negative terminals of the battery in this direction. That is what the electrons, these are the electrons direction, not the current direction. So the movement of electrons through a wire will be from the negative terminal of the battery through the lamp and back to the positive terminal. So this is the convention of the electron flow, and this rate of flow of the electrons we can call as the current. But what is the convention of the current is that opposite to the flow of electrons. So opposite to this is like a clockwise, so which will be of this nature. And we usually take the conventional current direction as the positive charge direction. Positive charge direction. So that is plus Q convention. Plus Q convention. So whereas electrons will be moving in opposite direction. This is what the electron flow direction. One can say the current in this direction also, but since long time, so all the peoples have adapted this standard convention. So we should follow the same convention to avoid the so misconception or misinterpretation among the literature, one person to another person. And just let me quickly show that, so how do we measure these basic quantities which are voltage and current, voltage and current. So here just I want to emphasize these things with the help of multimeter or simply voltmeter or ammeter. So to measure the voltage we use the voltmeter, to measure the current we use the ammeter. So these are the devices which try to give us how much is the voltage in the circuit or how much is the current in the circuit in terms of volts and in terms of amperes. Clear? And when you come to the lab, so these devices you can see that it will have different settings in single device. Like this is the knob. If you put this across the V, that means this meter is configured to measure the voltage. If you put that same knob like across the amps, then it is configured to measure the current in amperes. So that's why one device can measure many quantities like voltage, current, and resistance, etc. So we call this as multimeter. So as because it is shown in the digital form, so we call this as DMM, digital multimeter. Digital digital multimeter. Multimeter. DMM, digital multimeter. So then how we usually measure this voltage or current? This is very important. One should understand the voltage polarity and the current direction very clearly with the help of these examples. Clear? So here try to observe that the meter have two probes. These we call as a probes. This red color one and the black color one we call as a probes. probes or terminals of the meter, where we usually connect wherever we need to measure the voltage, in which one is red color one, another is black color one. Red color probe or terminal represent that it is the positive terminal, whereas black represents the negative or the reference terminal, negative terminal. This you should defaultly understood. Now, if I'll connect, like assume that this is a battery or cell which whose voltage is 47.2, whose voltage is 47.2. Now, I want to check that whether it is really showing 47.2 or not. And as I know that clearly, battery, the long side terminal is the positive polarity and the short distance side terminal is the negative polarity. That I know. Are you getting? So what I am saying is that we already know that battery long side terminal is the positively charged and the negatively charged is the short side terminal. That means the short distance terminal represents negative polarity. This information we know priorly. Now I want to see the same reading on the meter, voltmeter. So what shall I do? So whichever is of red color terminal, that you place on the battery positive terminal, and this black probe terminal on the negative terminal, so that you will see in the meter this as 47.2. Now tell me, if I would have connected in reverse, what I will get? Like black on the positive terminal, this red probe on the negative terminal. What it happens? For example, like this,
Negative readings.
we will get negative reading. So as like this, just let me quickly take this. So this is, let us assume that probe red terminal and this is probe black terminal. If I'll measure like this, so in the meter, what I will see is that minus 47.2 volts. What is the reason? Can you tell me? Why we get negative? Why we get negative? This measuring instrument is configured to measure this terminal as a positive, this terminal as a negative basically. But actually voltage across this device is upper side positive, lower side negative. So as because the real voltage is 47.2 with this polarity, but you are measuring in opposite convention than the existed, than the real one, so you are getting negative. This is understood that once you will get negative means the voltage is positive in the other way. Like if you will put the red probe on the upside and black probe on the downside, that is what 47.2. So this one should understand very clearly. And you can see this. So to measure the voltages, so like you should understand how to connect the probe across the device. So this is about the voltmeter. Now let us see the current. And here we have a current of 16.7 milliamperes. And first is configure your meter into ammeter mode. Then so do one simple task, that here wherever you want to measure the current, wherever you want to measure the current, you create some gap. Just disconnect the wire here. You break the wire there into two parts. And whichever side current is coming, that side you connect the red color probe. So current should enter into the red color probe, then it is usually said as positive convention, properly connected, otherwise you will get the negative current. Clear? So the current should enter, see this current is entering to the positive terminal, which is the red probe, and it should leave from the negative terminal, that is what the black color probe. So this is the proper connection of the ammeter. Clear? So what we do? So we usually connect the voltmeter across the element wherever we need to measure the voltage. wherever we need to measure the voltage. See here, this is what the parallel. Parallel means across. Whereas ammeter is connected, see this is the ammeter. Ammeter is connected in series with the element wherever we need to measure the current. For example, I need to measure this resistance current. So in series with the resistance, you connect this ammeter. And the symbolic representation of the ammeter is circle. Inside of that, we write as A. A means amperes. Means this is a device which measures the current in amps. So try to remember that independent source is also represented in circle. But if it is a current source, we represent arrow. But if it is a ammeter, we represent inside with
Like
A.
man.
So this you should not get confused. Sometimes what people will think is that, so once we give this kind of thing, they'll think that this is a current source. So you should not do this mistake. So this is a ammeter symbol, whereas this is current source symbol. That you should carefully observe. Okay. And one more is the circle inside which V is shown, that is what the voltmeter. Voltmeter. Clear? So make a clear distinction between voltage source and voltmeter, current source and ammeter. That is one thing. And ammeter is always connected in series with the element where we need to measure the current. So this is always in series with with the element where where we need to measure the current, where we need to measure current. Clear? This point you should remember. These are very important basics. So whereas voltmeter, how do we connect the voltmeter? This voltmeter should be
Parallel.
always connected in parallel. In parallel. Just I am not writing whole statement, just I am writing in parallel to the element whichever we need to measure the voltage. Like this lamp voltage I want to measure. Just across that you connect it. That across word should be properly used. Across the element. Across the element is nothing but parallel. Clear? So these are the voltmeter and ammeter usage, and with this I hope you can understand the voltage polarity and current directions properly. Clear? Right. So let me introduce some more terminology which we usually come across, which is the switch. Switch is used to make a circuit, make in the sense that connection. It connects, make or break the circuit, make or break the circuit. That means it connects or disconnect the circuit from the voltage source or current sources or some branch, whatever it may be. And we have different type of pattern of
Sir,
switch.
your voice is breaking, sir.
Is it okay? Yeah, my net connectivity is proper. Check your internet. So I think it's okay from my side. Right. So am I clear for everyone? My voice is clear?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No.
Also not clear from me.
Sir,
Okay.
screen
No,
is
sir.
also
Break out.
screen, sir.
Screen is not visible?
No, sir. No.
Alright. So we usually see one more device which we regularly come across in our subject is switch. So switch is used to make a circuit or break a circuit, break the circuit. So it connects or disconnect the circuit from the active elements. So we have different type of switches. One is single pole, single throw. In abbreviation, in short abbreviation, we call this as SPST, single pole, single throw. So here single pole represents that it has only one line of connection, like this. See here. So this is one line of connection which is connecting the source or the battery or the cell E to the lamp, to the lamp, to the lamp. Only one line of connection is there. That is what mean by the pole. So pole means only one line of connection. So now see that when this is thrown downward direction as in the arrow direction, then switch going to be closed. That's why we call single throw. It can throw in only one direction, either in the open direction or in the closed direction. So if I'll throw here in upward direction, it will be going to open. So if I'll throw in the case 1 downward direction, the switch going to be closed. So this is what the single throw. It can be either open or closed. Mind, it connects only one line. That is what this is what the line, or you can call the same terminology as pole. So this is what one pole to other pole. So which makes the connection. And there will be a double pole also, a single pole double throw switch. So single pole means still you have only one connection. So one line of connection, that is one element, that is E to the lamp. This is other side pole. So don't count that these are two poles. So we are making the connection of this corresponding pole to other side pole. That's all. I'll show the two pole also, just for to differentiate these things. Now what I can do is that I can throw this switch in two way. So this is we usually call in the general daily usage terminology as a two-way switch. Two-way switch. That means this switch can be thrown on to the position A. Let us call this as position A, or it can also be thrown to the position B. And if it is in the middle, then it is in the off position. If it is connected to A, it may connect to the line of this. If it is connected to the B, it will connect to the line of this B corresponding segment. So like that, it can be thrown into two positions, either A position or B position. And off position, that is common. On off is common. Apart from that, it can be thrown to either A position or B position. This is what two-way switch control, which we usually found in staircase. So like, let us say you are in the first floor, but you want to make control of the switch from the zeroth floor. zeroth floor. What you can do is that in first floor you put the two-way switch. So then two terminals must go to the ground floor, and in the ground floor also you put the two-way switch. Then when you switch on, let us say this is S1, this is S2. So when you switch on S1 in the first floor, either in direction, the light may go to the on or off position. So let us say you switched on, or somebody, your friend might be switched on in the first floor by pressing this switch S1. You want to switch off in the ground floor. What you can do is that you can use this S2 to switch off. So if you want the details of that staircase connection, you can go in through the Google, just you will get the circuit you can analyze and you can use in your house also. As sometimes what happens is that we will have outside of our house, so there may be a light and we want to switch off that light from the inside of house. So you can use this kind of two-way switch. Okay, so you can work on this and you can make this kind of connections in your home. So but take care while doing the connections, switch off the mains, etc. So that is one thing. And just let me show the double pole also. DPST, double pole single throw. Double pole single throw. So right, so double pole, how does it look like is that, see here. So you have a switch. How does that switch look like is that as like this. These are the two wires. Let us say this is line 1, this is line 2. This line 1 and 2 I need to connect to 1 dash and 2 dash side. 1 dash and 2 dash side. See that these two lines we usually call as a double pole. Now this is a switch, so we will have combinedly this. And these two moving parts are interlinked by non-conducting medium, some non-conducting, some wooden kind of thing, and for which a handle is fitted. A handle is fitted here. Some handle will be fitted, and if you press this handle downward, then these two terminals, red terminals, go and touch with this black color one, and it occupies these dotted line positions, thereby it makes the connection. Once I'll push this handle to the upside, it break the connection. This is what the double pole single throw. You can either on or you can either off. Any only these two options are available, but in single throw you can make the two poles connection. That is what the line 1 and line 2. Okay, so like that many things are there, and let me introduce some more terminology. That is what the fuses and circuit breakers. So fuses are usually used for small current applications, for small current applications, small current applications, like usually less than 15 amperes, less than 15 amperes. And there are different type of fuses. Just you can see in your extension box also, if somebody is using extension box or any other things, wherever it is written as fuse, you can open and check it. Different kind of fuses like this so will be available. And fuse symbolic representation is like this. So there are two kind of fuse symbols are available. And the other thing is that circuit breaker. So circuit breaker is used little higher applications. So like even it is so greater than 15 amperes usually, so greater than 15 amperes, so we'll use the circuit breakers. And the circuit breaker symbol in the circuit look like this. And some of you might be seen this kind of things in your home or even outside. So these are what the circuit breakers, which are made into compact in size and molded into some single casing. So this we call as miniature circuit breaker, which is optimized into smaller size. So that's why we call this as MCB, miniature circuit breaker. Clear? So these are the some generalized things which I want to incorporate before going to the like advancement of the other topics, so which I missed in the previous session. So just try to have a basic idea of on all these things. These will not be taught usually, but just I am taking an extra hour so to discuss all these things. Right. So now let us start the official topic, which is the passive elements. So in order to have so the passive elements discussion, so let us start with our first law, which is Ohm's law. Ohm's law. So Ohm's law states that so the current through a conductor is proportional to the voltage difference across the conductor terminals. For example, if I have a conductor like this, the conductor terminals are 1 and 2. And if the current through this conductor is I amperes, then the amount of the current flowing through this conductor depends on the amount of the voltage impressed across these terminals. And remember that this proportionality holds good only at constant temperature. At constant temperature. If the temperature is not maintained constant, this proportionality relationship does not holds good. So that may leads to some other discussion which we call as non-linear elements. So let us have our discussion only to the linear elements, where at constant temperature current through any conductor is proportional to the applied voltage. And this proportionality relationship, So we will usually take as a constant as 1 by R. So where this R is the resistance of the conductor. Resistance of the conductor. Resistance of this conductor. So this conductor will have some resistance. That resistance is R. So we can write this expression alternatively as V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR. And where the resistance of the conductor is the property of the material. Generally, so the resistance will depends on the type of the material. So different material will have different properties, like most of the conductors are having less resistance, negligible amount of the resistance. Whereas insulators, the materials are classified into three classes. I hope you might be studied in physics or somewhere, like conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. So based on this classification of the material, material will offer some amount of the resistance irrespective of the material. So some may offer less, some may offer medium, some may offer very high. So now the resistance is the property of the material. Resistance, what is the resistance? Resistance is the property of materials. What is that property? Is that which opposes the the flow of charge. What is the flow of charge? Is nothing but
Current.
current. So it is the property of the material which opposes the flow of charge. That is what the resistance. That is what the resistance. Then who will offer this resistance? Usually any kind of material. So depends on the type of material, it may offer less, medium or more. Now let us have little discussion about that, how much is the resistance offered by a particular material. Let us consider a material which is in this shape, something like cylinder kind of thing, having a length of L. The length of this material is L, and area of cross section of this material is A. Area of cross section of the material is A. Now, based on the previous experiments, many people who have conducted, so they have come up with this conclusion that the this material resistance is proportional to the length of the material or conductor simply. So, the resistance of the metallic conductor, this is a metallic conductor, is proportional to the length of the conductor. So that what is R is proportional to L. And also one more proportionality comes through the other parameter, which is the area of cross section. So the material or the metallic conductor resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Means if some material is of wider area, you can expect that less amount of the opposing force which opposes the flow of charge. So if some material is bigger length, so it has more amount of the resistance. That is what the direct proportionality. So based on these two proportionality relationship, so we can come up with this conclusion that R is equal to L by A, L by A, and the proportionality constant we call as rho. Proportionality constant we call as a rho. So this proportionality constant rho is referred as the resistivity. Resistivity. Proportionality constant is referred as the resistivity. And you can check the units from this relationship. So you'll get that as ohm meter. Ohm meter. So why? Because the resistance units are ohms. Ohms. Resistance units are ohms. So you can see that, just cross check this. So you'll get rho is equal to RA by L, this expression for the resistivity. You can see that resistance units are ohms and area of cross section units are meter square and length units is meter, so that it gives the ohm meter. This unit is important for the competitive exam. In most of the competitive exams, so resistivity units will be asked. So take care of this value. Now, depends on the type of material, we will have so different resistivity value at some different temperatures. Like if temperature vary, this resistivity value also vary. But some standard, like at approximately room temperature around 20 degrees centigrade, so for various materials, so which manufacturers will come up with these values by measuring in the laboratory. So those values we may utilize to solve some problems. So just these information will be given when some question will be given. Okay. So you no need to worry that how can I get these values. So resistivity for different materials are specified in this way. So but try to understand one more important point, that these values are valid only at this temperature. If temperature is different, again these resistivity values vary. Clear? So that you should be very careful. Whenever you are dealing the Ohm's law, that is these expressions. So R is equal to rho L by A kind of expressions. So R is equal to or V is equal to IR expressions. You should take care that, so the temperature, what is the temperature? Is the temperature maintained constant or not? This point you should get into your mind immediately when you are talking about the Ohm's law. Clear? So now for different materials, especially copper, silver and aluminum, so just focus on these three things. Why? Because these are the common conductors which we frequently utilize: copper, aluminum and sometimes silver, but that is rare case. And just see this problem, simple problem, which gives a good understanding of what is the resistance. And all of you might have seen in your home, so how the power supply is connected to your home various devices is through the conductor. Have you observed any time what kind of is the conductor? Mostly
Copper wire.
those are copper wires, mostly those are copper wires. And try to observe, in most of the cases the conductors are circular in diameter, circular in shape. Clear? So circular conductors. And here the diameter of the wire is given. The diameter of the wire is given. Sorry. The diameter of the wire is given as 1.63 millimeter to provide electrical distribution to outlets. Outlets means your plugs and sockets. So two outlets means in your house you need to utilize those power supply at the plugs and sockets. What we need to do is that we need to determine the resistance of 75 meters of solid copper wire having the above diameter. So what can we do is that the resistance R is equal to, or let me say in the initial case, R is proportional to L and another is R is proportional to 1 by A. And from these we can expect this relationship as rho L by A. And what kind of material is this? Copper. So we will have for copper, so how much is the rho? So it will be given, otherwise this table will be given. So rho is equal to, for this copper, it is 1.723 into 10 power minus 8. What are the units? Ohm meter. Ohm
Meter.
meter. Now what else are the other things given here? So the diameter is given. See that area of cross section can be written pi r square or simply pi d square by 4. So this is what the area of cross section for a circle. So this is the circular conductor, solid conductor, whose area can be computed as pi r square if radius is given. If diameter is given, you substitute r is equal to d by 2 or radius is equal to diameter by 2, so that you will get d square by 4. So now I can calculate here area of cross section as pi d square by 4. But you should take care of the units. Every unit should be in the SI, like in meters or ohms, like that, SI units. So but diameter is given in mm. So we should convert that into 1.63 into 10 power minus 3 is meters. So whole square by 4. This is what the area of cross section. And just let me know the value of this, or you calculate later on. So and if somebody could do this now itself, give me that value. And what else is given? L, length of the conductor is given 75 meters. It is given in meters, no issue. Now all things are known, rho, L, A. So you can get the resistance value. How much is this? Clear? So in this way, you can calculate the conductor which is there in your home, like of this much 75 meters, or from the pole to your house, it might be 75 meters distance. So how much is that conductor resistance? You can get it in this way. Okay. Right. So now let us see the various types of resistors. Various types of resistors. So prior to that, so just I would like to give the resistor circuit or schematic symbol in this way. The resistor symbol is represented in this way. Usually it is having two terminals, and the resistance offered by the resistor is a device. Remember that resistor is a device. It offers the resistance. Resistance opposes the flow of current. These terminology should be clear for everybody. Resistor is a device which offers the resistance. Resistance opposes the flow of current. Clear? So there are two categories of resistors we will observe in our labs. One is fixed value resistors, another is variable resistors. So variable resistors, there are some applications where we need to vary the resistance so slowly for our requirement. So there we use the variable resistor, and there are fixed resistors where once we fix it into the circuit, we will not vary. That remains till the end of the experiment. So these are the various type of resistors, which is carbon film and metal oxide film, wire wound, surface mount resistor. So this we can call as SMD components, surface mount devices. So surface mount resistor may be there, surface mount inductor may be there, surface mount capacitor also may be there. That's why. So the technology like nowadays in your phone or small like electronic devices all will use these SMD components so that it occupy very small space, so that your device will be compact in size. Okay. So try to observe one important thing here, that for these resistors there will be bands, some colors are represented. See here, there will be some colors represented like orange, red, etc., yellow. So usually these kind of packages will come for the low wattage. Low wattage. Watts are the units for the power. Low wattage means these resistors can handle low watt of power. Low power, that is 1 watt or 2 watts, in the range of 1 watt, 2 watts, or half watt or quarter watt. So like this. So low wattage range. Whereas wire wound resistors will come at the high wattage range. High wattage range. And SMD components also low wattage range, so which are of low wattage. And these are variable resistors. Usually observe that variable resistors has three terminals. So let me give you the circuit symbol for the variable resistor. As like this, as like the fixed resistor, it has two terminals as usually. Apart from that, one variable pointer will be there, something like this, wiper, so which is contributing the third terminal. So now if I'll connect this variable resistor any of the two terminals like 1 and 3, then as I vary this towards the right side or towards the left side, then the resistance going to be vary. If I'll keep this variable pointer at this location, that is what the minimum resistance. So if I'll keep at this end position, that is what the maximum resistance position. So when I choose 1 and 3 terminals, so it becomes a variable resistor. If I'll choose 1 and 2, what happens? Even if I vary this third pointer, the resistance does not vary. Why? Because the entire resistance is already included between the terminals of 1 and 2. So this constitutes a fixed resistor. If I'll choose 1 and 2, that become fixed resistor. But if I'll choose 1 and 3, that become variable resistor. You can also see you can choose even 2 and 3 also. That becomes the variable resistor. But maximum and minimum point will be interchanged once I'll choose the 2 and 3. Clear? This maximum will become minimum will become maximum if our terminals are 2 and 3. If 2 and 3 is chosen, this also gives the variable. So like that, see, for most of the variable resistors has 3 terminals. That means you can use these devices either in fixed mode or variable mode. Clear? So this is the variable resistance or rheostats symbols, whereas this fixed resistance symbol. And here also you have 3 terminals. See, there is a knob. With the help of small screwdriver, you can turn, then resistance vary. So this is the knob where you can turn right side or left side. So we will vary the resistance. Okay. Right. So now most of the low wattage resistors will come with this kind of color band representation, color bands. So why? Because it is difficult to represent on that bands the values, that how much is the resistance offered by this resistor. So these are compact in size. What the manufacturer will do is that they will represent its resistance value in terms of these bands. Then how to calculate once these bands are given for us? So in reality also in the lab you will see this kind of resistors, exactly same kind of resistors as like this. So I haven't brought some sample resistors, otherwise I would have shown, but it look like same as like this. So now let us see how to calculate this low wattage resistance. If the color bands are given, how much is the resistance offered by this? So for which first you need to understand this band pattern, this band pattern, and for which just I would like to tell you that, see, otherwise I will come to that point. So see that usually the color bands on the resistors are mostly 4 bands or 5 bands. That means 4 or 5 color bands are represented on the resistor. So this is a 5 band. If 4 band is given, it is easy to calculate, no issue. Once you understand the band 5, so pattern, so this is 5 band pattern, so you can understand each of the thing. Now see here. So from one of the side, I will tell you from which side, okay? From the left to right, you should place the resistor in this way, and you take this as terminal 1, this as terminal 2. So this I will call sometimes left, this I will call as right. So you start the counting bands number from the left to right side, from the left to right side, and the first band and the second band means this first position and second position are referred as significant figures. Significant figures. So I'll tell you what is that significant figure mean. Whereas the third band represents multiplier. Remember this pattern. First two are the significant, third is the multiplier, fourth is the tolerance, fifth is the reliability. Reliability. Okay. So now based on these color, means based on these color bands and its positions so peoples that manufacturers and all over the world, peoples have standard of numbers that for these color bands. So what we could see is that mostly these kind of bands, one is black, brown, red, orange, green, blue, gray, and gold, silver. So up to this portion, that is white from black, is the very important color coding. And the remaining three is only for some applications. That is for the band 3, very rare case, but band 4 is very highly we see this band 4 colors are gold, silver, or no color. Band 4 preferably it may be either gold or silver most of the times, and sometimes there will not be any color, means no band. So if it is gold, it represents 5 percentage of the tolerance, 5 percentage of the tolerance. I'll tell you what is mean by tolerance, but try to understand these numbers. Gold, if you see, you call as 5 percentage. If you see silver, it is a 10 percentage tolerance. If it is no color, 20 percentage. Clear? This is about the band 4 colors. And I don't want to discuss band 3, so that is a fractional resistance. So that also we see later on, but rare case we observe this color in the band 3. Okay. Right. Next is, see these significant bands colors which are black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue and violet, gray and white. So this order you can remember with the famous quotation which is referred in this way as BB. BB means some person. BB is some person. So BB Roy. So his name might be Roy. BB Roy is a person. BB Roy has 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 or let me tell you in this way. BB Roy of of great of great Britannian has has very very good wife, very good wife. So if you observe these starting letters, it fits with this quotation. So the BB Roy of Great Britannian has very good wife. Just you can remember this quotation and just highlight these words and start with the numbering. So with the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just simply like this. So then you will come to know that which color is corresponding to which one. And remember one more point, that first is black followed with the brown. First is black followed with the brown. Now, whether these colors are in the significant figure band 1 or band 2, it doesn't matter. So, we usually come across wherever we see brown, it may be band 1, band 2, wherever it may be. So, it is of number 1. So, wherever we see green, it is of number corresponding to 5. So, like that, these colors has its own numbering. Now, let us calculate. So, the resistance value in this way, so let us say this given resistor value is band 1 number R, just I am writing as resistance R is equal to band 1 number into band 2 number. These are what we call significant figures, into multiplier is the third band, so into multiplier of what, 10 power band 3, 10 power band 3. So additionally, band 4 is the tolerance. So plus or minus means this resistance may vary like from 10 to 15. We usually see like, so somebody may say that, so today petrol rate is, let us say, 109. Since 1 month the petrol rate is varying from 109 to 110 rupees. So what is that range of variation we call as the tolerance basically. So 109 to 110 rupees is what the tolerance. That means it may lie in between anywhere. So that is what the band 4, and this band 4 is usually percentage. So band 4 percentage. So this is the way of calculating the resistance for any kind of resistor. So we can make use of this kind of things so to calculate the resistance. Now let us see what will be the resistance of this resistor. So this formula, just formulation, you try to observe what kind of pattern are we following. What is the band 1? Orange. What will be the color orange number represents? Band 1?
3.
3.
3, sir.
So next white?
9.
9. See, this 3 and 9 are just B1, B2, band 1, band 2, just side by side. These are what significant figures. Next is multiplier, so into 10 power. So what is the
4.
band 3? Yellow.
4.
So 4. So 10 power 4. So what is the band 4 color? Gold. Gold. This is gold color.
5%.
So I will write plus or minus 5%. So in this way, we can make use of these color coding to calculate the resistance value. Now, one more is there, reliability. Means, so if you measure these resistance value by a ohm meter, so how many times, like if I'll measure 100 times, will I get 100 times with this same value? That is what the reliability. So reliability 1%. Reliability 1%. So this reliability like band 5 is negligible. Most of the times we will not take care. That is like at higher research level, at precision, when you want very high accurate things, then we go with this. So we will say beside that 1% reliability. Reliability. Clear? So now just you can make this calculation. So in this way, so base value is, this is 39 into 10 power 4 plus 5% means 5 by 100 into how much is that value? 5% of what? Some value should be there. 5% of this significant or base value. That is what the 39 into 10 power 4. How much is this value? Can somebody tell me? This entire value plus 39 into 10 power 4. I can take this plus or minus. Plus or minus. That means, what does it means is that, so the resistance value will be 390, means 39 into 10 into 10 power 3. So kilo ohm, or let me not to write the units as of now. So yeah, so minus so 0.05 means 5% into 39k, 39k or 390k, sorry, 390k. This is in kilo ohm. This is the resistance value from here to 390 plus 0.05 into 390. That means if you measure this resistance value by a multimeter, it may give the value in between this. Can somebody tell me what are these figures?
Sir, plus validity 14 and 4 into 4.09 into 10 power 5. Sir.
This is 5% means it is 1.05 into 390. 409.5. So 5% less means how much is that? 99 point.
Sir,
Yeah. This is kilo ohm, right? What is the minus value? Zero 0.05 into 390. Somebody should calculate 19.5. You should subtract from 390. minus 19.5. So 370.5 to this. That means your resistance value will not be a fixed value. So if I'll measure right now, I may get 380 kilo ohm. Then after some time if you measure, it may give 390 kilo ohm. But ultimately, this value will be definitely within this range. That is what the meaning of this tolerance. So tolerance in the sense that the resistance may deviate from 390 kilo ohm, downline up to 370, upline up to 409. But usually we can refer this as 390 kilo ohm. 390 kilo ohm. Is this clear? Is this clear?
yes, sir.
Right. Just let me conclude with this problem, and it is so interesting. So let us take this problem. A resistor manufacturer produces carbon composition resistor. Carbon composition resistor means which kind of this? See this one. So this carbon film can also be called as carbon composition. So these kind of resistors are represented with the color band, clear, like this. So now, so we need to that resistance of a resistor of 100 mega ohm means that resistance value is given with the tolerance of 5%, with the tolerance of 5%. Then we would like to get how much will be the resistor color values, etc., band values. We need to name that color codes, means reverse engineering. If you understand this, it is easy to calculate this first case. So now for which what I will do is that the given resistance value I try to write. How much is that? 100 mega ohm. 100 mega unit I am taking, only mega, or if you want in more general way, so into 10 power, mega means 6. So how much is the tolerance? So plus or minus, what is the tolerance? Tell me.
5%.
5%. See, that means it is a 4-band resistor. So they did not specify here about the reliability. So we can neglect this band 5, no issue. Mostly 4-band resistors will be there. So only these information is enough to calculate the resistance value. Now what I will do is this. I will try to make this into the standard form, that first two bits are bands are significant bands. So I will make this as 10 into 10 power 7. Can I make this in this way? 100 into 10 power 6 I will write 10 into 10 power 7. So plus or minus 5%. Now see that what is the band 1 representing?
1.
1. So let me write here B1 B2 into 10 power B3 plus or minus B4 percentage. Now tell me each of the band numbers. So B1 is equal to 1, B2 is equal to 0, B3 is equal to 7, B4 is equal to how much percentage?
5%.
5%. This should be in percentage, remember, before should be in percentage. Now tell me what is the one number represents?
Brown.
So, see brown. So black is 0. We said that we start with the black. Don't get confused here. So this is what the brown. What about 0?
Black.
Black. What about 7? 7.
Violet.
Violet. See here. 7 is violet. And 5% means
Gold.
gold. So this will be the resistor colors on the carbon composition. The manufacturer should print these colors on the resistor from left to right. That you should remember, from left to right. So something like this, if I have a resistor, something like this is a resistor. So a resistor. Then the first color should be, I don't have those many colors here, so I cannot put, but just anyhow. So let me put some colors in this way. This is band 1, this is band 2, this is band 3, this is band 4. So B1 should be those color things already we written. So this is B4. So in this way, so the color should be represented. So band 1 should be brown, black, violet and gold. They should print that. So it gives the 100 mega ohm. Clear? Is this clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So with this, let me close about this passive element of the resistor. In the next class, we see inductor and capacitor. Thereafter, we start the analysis. Okay. Thank you.